This is going to take a couple pauses, I should warn you.
Okay.
Despite making up 13% of the population, black people commit more than 50% of crimes. Number one, shut up. Number two, the statistic is racist.
Just shut up. Bias in the newspaper reporting of crime news. Look, this is the beauty of preaching to the converted here on this show. I don't have to do anything tedious like go back and explain why that's insane. But a great example is what we were just talking about. That guy in Ireland who killed that old couple. And what was the visual, the picture for that article? And by the way, the article you showed when I was talking to Anthony
wrong.
Is a different one.
Yeah, I couldn't find it. Yeah.
In other words, they all do that.
Yeah.
It's a courthouse with an ambulance
Yep.
and a police car in front and some barriers. That's what the image they use. Or how about the time they had an article on, I think we tweeted this too. It was on a guy who disguised himself as an ICE agent to go in and I think rape and kill and stab a bunch of illegals in a holding cell. He was black. They don't show that. And then Anthony was talking about the Getty image of the white hand with the gun when it was a black person. So yes, there is bias in the reporting of crime news. What do they say? They say lunchtime rowdies. They say youths. They say anything but black teenagers. So the British Journal of Criminology, look at her sources. Look how
From
far she had to go to.
1983. Yeah,
what?
It's from 1983.
Wow. You really got to dig to support your insane arguments, don't you? Okay, next.
Number three, I'm going to explain why to other white people who are stupid to not understand what this means. Number one, black communities are heavily over-policed, meaning they are more likely to be targeted by police officers than people who...
Why are they heavily over-policed? I live in a nice neighborhood. I got robbed, by the way. We were under-policed that day. But why are they over-policed? Do you think that if in my neighborhood in Westchester, if there was a cop on every corner, do you think they'd be getting a lot of busts? You might get a DUI on a Thursday night outside the country club. Maybe. And that person would have been fine to drive home anyway. Do you think that there's tons of murders going on in white suburbs that are just not getting reported or not getting caught? Did you think it through that far? No, you didn't. They're over-policed the same way that, like, Irish neighborhoods are over-barred. It's called the demand and the supply, my dear. There's a big demand for cops in these violent, dangerous neighborhoods. Go ahead.
Who are, say, white. The second reason white people have more connections to police officers around the country, meaning that if they are arrested, it's easier for them to get off and have nothing on their record. The third reason...
There might be an argument there. Like if a black guy gets caught with coke, he might face more than someone who had like $100,000 to defend themselves. That's not been my experience. So we'll leave that as, we'll stick a pin in that. But like when Clark Kemp, the Proud Boy, was caught with a gun in New York City, what Chadwick Moore pointed out, that 90% of first-time gun possession charges with black and brown kids in the Bronx are let go because they just can't handle the volume. But with Clark, they didn't want to look like they were racist because of is like this. So they threw the book at him. And he got, not the highest sentence you can get, but he did real bad. Forget how long he was in prison for, but it was better part of a year. And this is after the 5-year thing. Now it's the laws have loosened up quite a bit on guns in New York, believe it or not. And also, the sheer volume of these. How many times have you heard of these repeat offenders? Like there was that guy who had 82 felony arrests, and he was back out on the streets. So the sheer volume of black and brown crime means that they tend not to get punished. So I'd like to see more data on this. It's just kind of a theory based on the notion that a super good lawyer is going to get someone out. But like Proud Boys, Max and Hare, John's middle class. He's probably spent $70,000. I think Ethan Nordine spent $1 million on his lawyer. Oh, he must be rich. No, his entire family remortgaged their homes and the restaurant that his parents owned. So everyone poured everything into it. He got the same insane sentence that everyone who had no lawyer got. Max Hare just got the court-appointed lawyer. Exact same sentence to the day that John Kinsman's fancy lawyer got him.
Hi, this is Anthony Cumia,
Hello, I'm Gavin McInnes.
and together we're Compound Censored.
And we would like you to subscribe with this deal using this promo code right below me right now.
Do it, because it's very entertaining.
The CIA denies any involvement. What do you guys think? Okay, so is she saying that the crack thing? Go ahead.
Gonna be the correct
Reason is that if you don't know this, the CIA actually did introduce drugs to low-income black areas.
Okay, stop. Let's just briefly, even though I've explained this 100 times, the Nicaraguan freedom fighters needed some money. Guy approached Reagan and Ollie North and said, I want to donate to the freedom fighters. And they said, well, that's illegal. But no, they said, we can't. It's illegal for us to do it, but can you do it? And he goes, yes, but my money's from drugs. And they go, oof, that's not going to look good. Okay, don't tell anyone, but get this. You can sell your cocaine in LA during this brief time. I'm not saying this is good, by the way, but like a few years, and then take all of that money you get from the cocaine from the hood, send it to the Nicaraguan freedom fighters, and we won't prosecute coke dealers during that time. The big famous dealer at the time was Freeway Rick Ross. The rapper is named after him. So some guys got very rich. That's a brief moment in time in one very specific area in LA. A. B. You could flood this whole office with crack. Sean and I are not interested.
I might do one puff.
Okay, we might do a tiny bit.
Yeah.
Once or twice. Okay, we may finish it if it's free.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't free either. By the
Yeah.
way.
That's
So the left has taken that one moment in time, which was probably 80 Nicaraguan freedom fighters. 81. So they've taken that brief period in 1981 in LA and just turned it into all drug crime in America in the hood, top to bottom. Pathetic. Next, woman brain.
Mentioned the first police department in America was designed to be a, quote, slave patrol.
Okay, stop. That's a weird one they keep saying.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's say that's true. This was at the very beginning. It was only the 13 colonies, right? So it was like it wouldn't be the North. So some slaves in like South Carolina, and they had a guy wandering around trying to catch truants. What the fuck has that got to do with anything today? Are you saying that the intrinsic origin of all American police is slave catching? That's mental.
You'd also be sort of saying like that white people didn't have any crime before that. You know, you didn't have to have police.
Oh yeah, I never thought of that. Yeah, good point. We don't need cops. That's funny. And also, I said this before, where'd the Singapore police come from? Where'd the Irish police come from? Why every single urban center on earth has police. So were they all slave catchers? How do you explain those, you silly cow?
Bring an enslaved person back to that
I know what it
plantation.
means.
So if you have any critical thinking skills at all, you would
Yes.
understand it's not that black people commit more crimes. It is that they are arrested, prosecuted, and treated inhumanely to the point that they are vastly overrepresented in our prison system.
That was a wild ride inside the insane brains over at the brain department here. Last one. This one doesn't have a number. Not the but they want more Browns because that means more votes. Oh, actually, you know what? Do 2-6. Okay. We'll get out of this in a second. But 2-6. It's not just women with this insane defect. This guy here thinks that water is less important than being an anti-racist.
Or Black History Month.
Water?
Did you say water or Black History Month?
Yeah.
Black History Month.
Why Black History Month?
Because it's important to history, let alone culture and literally everything that is in the world has come from some different part. White people are entitled.
What about water? I mean, you gotta use it to wash your body to stay alive.
Yeah, but would we have the ways to clean water that we do now if we didn't have things from other cultures?
Yes.
We wouldn't.
Water?
Did you catch that?
Yeah.
If it wasn't for Africans, we wouldn't have a way to get water out of the ground. That's backwards. That's upside down.
So, if you enjoyed that clip,
Then subscribe to Compound Censored using this promo code.